I wanted to show you the size light box I use, and the whole thing is about 11 by 14, and you can see how proportional it is to this big piece of pattern that we're tracing. And I used a large, I just sat at the table and I just moved the paper around as I traced each little part. So you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on a gigantic light box. I wanted this small one that I could take to classes. So if you like the larger ones, then by all means get the larger one. But it's really doable with a small light box size. I was trying to decide when I started tracing, should I trace section 1 first and then put all the pieces on the fabric and then have all the pieces ready, or should I just trace everything all at once and then put them on the same pieces of fabric? And I decided to make sure I had enough fabric, because if you look at section 1 and section 2, there are fabrics repeat. So what I ended up doing was tracing everything. I started with section 1 and I traced section 1, number 2, number 3, and all the way till I was through with that section. Then I went on to section 2 and traced all those in order. And what I did to differentiate from the sections was, let me show you this one. I'll show you this. This is fabric J, which is the caramel dark chocolate tonal. So what I did, you can see here, it's upside down. Let me show you this one. This one is J, so as I traced, I marked this as J for the fabric, and I put a 2 in front of the 14, so that told me that it's section 2, number 14. And this here is J. Let me turn it around. This here is J. That means it's section 1, number 4. Here we have J, section 1, number 1. And right here is J, section 2, number 5. The reason I did that, I wanted to make sure that I was going to get all the J pieces on the piece of fabric. Because if I cut out all these number 1s first, I might not be able to cut the other ones out. So this way I was able to put the large ones on first and then fill in with the smaller ones. So that's how I went with this one. So every time I did a section, I checked this color call out sheet to make sure I had a tracing for each one, and then I made sure that I numbered the section first and then the number within that section. And so that's how I proceed with this. Now remember, you're going to turn your paper over and you're going to trace from the back side of the paper. And in the video you saw that when the number was higher, say if you're tracing number 3 here and you have a higher number next to it, this is where you put your dashed lines, where the higher number is. So since you're working with a different section, all of these where this section is different, this is all of section 1 and this is section 5, I believe. Yeah, that's section 5. So all of these pieces that are here, you're going to put on last because you're going to do section 5 after, section 4. So all of these sections here where section 5 overlaps section 1, be sure you put your dashed lines out here on your section 1 numbers. So go ahead and trace all of your sections from 1 through 6 and trace all of your pieces. So as you're tracing, start with section 1 and trace 1 through 9, and then move on to section 2 and start with number 1 in section 2 and go all the way to the end. I believe there's 36 in section 2. And keep checking on your color call out sheet to make sure you have all the sections traced.